Hello, it is February 7th, Tuesday, February 7th. Holy shit, it is February 7th. I think I said it was January on the last episode. Whoopsie. It is February 7th, Tuesday. It's 9:45 in the morning. I'm on my way to a doctor's appointment. I'm on my way to see my drug dealer to get more, really just to have a 5-minute exchange and get a prescription and pay for it. This will be a quick episode because it's my appointment's at 10 o'clock and it's 9:45 now, and I'm kind of rushing to get there. But I wanted to get this recorded while my thoughts were still fresh on it. I watched 13th last night on Netflix, the documentary about the 13th Amendment. All right, so I have always been an open-minded person. I'm all-inclusive. I've never been one to judge somebody based on the color of their skin, the religion of their choice, their sexual preference, anything like that. The only thing that I've ever judged anybody on is, one, how they've treated me, and two, just, everybody gets a fair chance. With that being said, I am a white male that grew up in America with all that America's media has had to offer a white male in the past 30 years of my life, and that has left some subconscious bias residue in the corners of my brain where, without even thinking about it, you kind of have this fear of what you don't know. And what I don't know is growing up a white, lower middle class American is what, I don't know the black experience, the culture. So all I know is what the media told me. And I think I covered this in another episode, but it wasn't until I was an adult and actually started getting outside of my shell, outside of the four walls of my home and the safety bubble that I grew up in, and realized that there really wasn't much to be afraid of. But it was still on this guy's cool, but there's still that residual fear about that, sect of people in general. With that being said, so I've never felt racist, okay? I've never judged anybody for anything other than, on a person-to-person basis, anything other than how they've treated me or, like that. So, but I watched the 13th last night, and this is what hit me. So I've always, even with that being said, that I have this open-mindedness with the whole movement that's been going on lately and how just loud the resistance has been. It's kind of, in all honesty, created a little bit of resentment in me, and that resentment stemmed from ignorance that was completely abolished by by watching this documentary last night. But the resentment came from the fact that I just resented. I didn't resent. I agreed that Black Lives Matter. I agree that Black lives are disenfranchised. But that was the extent of what I knew. I also felt like I was not privileged, and that's the part that I resented. I resented being called privileged just because I was white. I didn't feel privileged. But what I realized is that Yes. All right. So the way I look at things is, I feel like anybody that is not born into a family of substantial money, is born at a disadvantage in this country, and the odds are against them in economic and other ways. But and that's how I feel for everybody. So I felt like the other thing that I kind of resented about specifically focusing on the black movement and resistance to this is that it took away from the fact that an idea that I've been trying to get across for years to people is that it's not a black and white thing, it's a rich and poor thing. And I still feel that there's truth in that, but it's definitely not the whole truth, I've realized. While I was born to a disadvantage by not being born to a rich family, and while I may have not been born with certain privileges, in comparison to Black lives, after watching this about the 13th Amendment and that loophole that created all of this, really, in the 13th Amendment that says, that you lose your rights to not being enslaved the moment you become a criminal. And it really does seem like America, ever since that moment, the core of American politics and whatever money and lobbying is going on at the core of the American politics, and the prison system has a hard-on for and just stuck on keeping black people in prison and enslaved. The statistics show it. It's right there. I mean, it's fucking in your face. Just look at the numbers. Numbers do not lie. So while, yes, as a lower middle class white person, I've had challenges to overcome. I've never really felt in the position to rise above. But in comparison to any person born of color, I am privileged. I'm privileged to not be preyed upon by a government and system that is supposed to be there to protect me as a citizen of the country. I'm privileged to not be born with a 1 in 3rd chance of ending up behind bars rather than a 1 in 17 chance because I'm white. I'm privileged that, and it only fucking begins with that it's, it's so easy to write off. Oh, well, you go to jail, you do your time, you get out. These people are, criminals go to jail. No, that's not the case. The laws are set up to make certain people criminals. And those certain people are a overwhelmingly majority black. So yes, I was wrong. I felt like I was not privileged, but we all love to not be the martyr, but it's easier to be the victim. There's less responsibility there. In a lot of ways. In a lot of ways there's more, because you are responsible for fighting back and standing up for yourself. But I've looked at the problem from just a white person's point of view for the past 15, 20 years of my life, and it's felt overwhelmingly impossible to overcome the forces against, just on an economic standpoint, against rich versus poor. But the problems the things that are systemically built into our system that are in place to prey upon the lives of black people are just they are far beyond anything that I've ever experienced in my own life against myself. So, yeah. That's where I was wrong. I felt like I wasn't privileged, and in comparison, white privilege is a real thing. When you look at, I couldn't imagine being a black father and Adeline. I couldn't imagine having a black daughter in this country. The fucking fear that I would feel. I mean, it's just been. It's been a 100-year propaganda machine to demonize black people. And not only have white people bought into it, but black people have bought into it. Super predators. Some take it as an insult, some take it as a fucking challenge. So thanks a lot, white America. I think, who the fuck did it say? And I'm coming up on my appointment here, so I will leave it in the words of Immortal Technique. The system you created a monster, and now you're scared because it's coming back to haunt you. I think that's how it went. Alright, have a good day. Adeline, hopefully in 20 years when you're hearing this, things are a lot better than they are now. Spread the love. There's definitely not enough of it.